Peace. This is James with Pan African Designs, and today I'm here to talk about the new prints that I'm excited to that we've gotten in this week. It's been a long struggle for us as far as like acquiring the prints that we started out with, as far as being accustomed to the standards that we had set with our original prints. But today is a glorious day for us as far as being able to announce that we have actually found the prints that we've been looking for, and then as a matter of fact, these prints are actually improved with the capability of being able to stretch by 70%, and being able to be pressed on all type of different type of fabrics that has elasticity off in it, or what you would call a spandex material. These particular prints are able to stretch by more than 70% on all garments. So, and they also retain a better lifespan as far as wearability from the prints that we just previously are trying to get ready, or we're getting ready to transition up out of. Not to say that the prints that we have now are not of standard, but as you will see later in this video, the prints that we're just transitioning out of are not of the standards and the quality that we set when we first got established as a brand. So I like to stay consistent in what I'm doing, and once I recognize that something is not perfect as a perfectionist, I like to and I like to fix what I see that's a problem. I've been doing this in every aspect of this brand from the inception. Everything that I see from a color variation, a stitch, or anything that I see that's not of standard, I am actually working on making this brand to the quality of the brands that we're trying to compete and take revenue away from, which is the standard brands that we've been indoctrinated with, such as the Ralph Lauren's, Izod's, Tommy Hilfiger's, Nike, Adidas, Puma, etc. We want to have a brand that's of the same standard, that's not going anywhere for the next millennia. You understand what I'm saying? And exactly the brand that we have established is a brand that has been here before all other brands. And I'm not saying that, I'm not really trying to use this or say that the image of Heru is a brand, because it's something sacred to our people, and it means something to understand what the imagery that we're using for our brand is. I mean, so I do not want to misconstrue like this is a mockery. This is actually something that is necessary, that we need to represent our people as a collective, and as to say that we have now reclaimed our history as well as our unification as an African people. So that's what Pan African Designs is about. It's a purely Pan African based brand. It's for African people, pretty much. It's actually for African people only. Um, we do not to say that we are you know in disagreement with a lot of other things that's going on, but we are actually looking for African support first, and pretty much purely from our people, because we're representing something that really only we are supposed to be representing. So it's a unique brand. It's not based on any type of a hate situation, but it's just something. It's like a prideful representation of what we've recaptured as a historically people, as a historically ancient people that has had our memory erased, and we had to go back and retrieve it. So that's kind of like the basis of what this image means to me, what it was created for. It was created to unify Africans on a global scale and give us our history from the beginning, and then move outward as one people once we gain a unifying understanding of what we have going on historically and as a people on this planet, and where our place is on the planet. Okay. So with that understood and out the way, my little introduction, let me do a quick reading of something that I wrote up to give a quick understanding about what we've been dealing with the prints. I want to make sure that I stay disciplined in reading this particular statement, because I believe it or not, I deviated off of it with the I didn't deviate off of it, excuse me. I had the mute button on when I did my first interview, which was probably my first go around. I probably did about an hour's worth of talking, and then went and looked up and then found out that the mic was on mute. So with that said, let me go ahead and share my screen, get right down to it as far as like what I'm trying to share, and then I'll get back to you, and then I'll elaborate later on as far as like what, whatever I need to try to bring forth. Okay, so this is the statement that I'm going to be reading, but before I read the statement, I'm going to go over the picture, and then I'm going to read the statement so I can stay on task. So the first picture is the 2011 print, which is our first print, which was an airwave print. This particular company went out of business. Once they went out of business, they didn't actually go out of business, excuse me. What they did was they sold their custom printing business to another company called FM Expressions. Once they sold the company to FM Expressions, that kind of put us in a spot, because the only prints that we'd ever used was Airwaves, which is an excellent print. I would have referred anybody to using their prints that had that was trying to start a print company or have a brand with printing. They had excellent prints, and they actually really knew what they were doing. I would not find out how blessed I was to have picked this particular company until after they went out of business, or went out of business, but transferred everything over to FM Express. So 2014, you have this print, but this is not actually a FM Expressions print. This is a wild side print. This print is similar to the FM Expression because you don't see the color block on this. You can actually see the transparency in the design. So it looks almost exactly like it looks on the shirt. But this is not this is not a standard print for my liking. I'm not saying that it's a very bad print, but as far as the durability of this print, it holds no water to this particular print, the 2011 print. And as a business person, for me, I don't like that. I want to make sure that I have a print that's of the standards of what my competition is selling, because I'm trying to, as I said, economically bankrupt them, from at least from the African consumer, and put this money not just in my pocket, but in the pocket of our people, because this brand is not named Pan-African Designs to not do Pan-African things. So just because we're starting out with a brand, we're going to use seed money from this brand, from us using making this $1 billion brand. We can start taking over other particular branding or particular industries that we're supposed to be dominating, like hair industries. I have a model for how we can take that over. I have a model for how we can take over particular stores in our community that are being parasitic to our existence, as far as like corner stores and so forth, laundry mats and so forth. It's certain things that we definitely have to own and control in our own particular territories and neighborhoods. I know we don't own America, but the territories that you're predominantly in are definitely yours. No one really owns America, but the territories that they're in, they're definitely supposed to be able to control. We have to understand that from a natural perspective, and that's what this is going to be about. At some point, I'll be going off into that type of thought process in other videos. But okay, so let me get back to the prints. So this is not a F&M Expressions, but I went through something with F&M Expressions, and I'll definitely be going through that when I read this paragraph. And then the last print is the print that we had to come up that we actually are going to be moving forward with, which I hope through the ancestors, and then hopefully by then, if we could move in fast enough to where, with support, to where we can get our own system to where we can do this ourselves. That is the goal, to where we won't have to depend on them. So when these people went out of business, we should have had something already, enough support already to be able to produce this ourselves. But because we don't, and I'm not really chastising our people, I'm just explaining the situation, is that we have to have enough support to be able to produce our own prints at some point. But that's neither here nor there until we get into a brand that has the model of what we need, which we have already understand and complete here. We have a full model here of what we need to do. Now we have the standard of model that we can move forward and support with confidence. Now we're going to be asking y'all to support us to where we can get this on our own in factory form, to where we can start employing and then start using the other revenue, like I was saying, to try to start doing other things that we want to do as Pan-Africans. The reason why we're a joke as a people is because we don't do anything that people can say, well, hey, those people did something. And I'm not trying to live the rest of my life without us doing anything. So that's what this is about. I come from where we all come from. And if we want to see something done, this is our opportunity to show and prove that we can do something. So this is the final print. I'm going to go into what all these particular prints do after I get done reading the paragraph. So with no further ado, let me go ahead and get into this. Okay. And I've been talking fast, so let me slow down. Okay. Our new and improved prints are similar to the quality of our original distributor, Airway, which sold their custom print division to a print company named F&M Expressions 2 to 3 years ago. By Airway selling their custom print division to F&M Expressions, we expected that their print quality and process would remain the same, but to our surprise, it didn't. Now that's something else, because when they sold their company to someone else, but they did not keep the same print style with the gray backing, is what I'm saying. Say we sent the entire order back, so we ordered some prints from them. Let me be clear. We ordered some prints from that F&M Expressions in 2014 with the expectation that they would retain the same process. When we got the prints back, this whole thing was showing. Like I said, this is not an F&M Expressions print. This is a Wildside print. So let's just explain the leeway into this next one. So we sent the entire order back to F&M Expressions and we began our search for a standard of print we had been known. So we switched our stand. We searched for a standard of print we had been known for. Next we tried a company named Wildside. After extensively explaining our last situation with F&M Expressions and what we needed to move forward with which was a full color block design, the sales lady assured me that they could handle the job and knew what this process took. I received the prints and no color block after calling and no color block. After calling and telling them that there was no color block on the print, she told me that their color block was invisible. To which I told her, well, then I need a total refund because that wasn't what we agreed to in our email, which I had documentation of. Once I told them this, they acted like it was a miscommunication on their part and redid the order. Excuse me, I had to redid the order. But again, the only color block in the design and after but again, the only color block they only color block the yellow in the design. They only color block the yellow in the design, and after so much trouble finding prints, I settled, which a business owner should never do. Your brand is your reputation, and for this, I would like to apologize to the family for letting you down. So what I'm saying is, after they sold this company to F&M Expressions, I ordered some prints from F&M Expressions. Their prints was not of standard, so that put me on a scramble to try to find some prints, which I settled on this company because they had assured me that they knew how to do this. Once I got the prints, this is how the prints looked, except it didn't have this on here. I sent the prints back. I sent the prints back to them, and then they color blocked just the yellow part of the design instead of fully making the whole design white like that, which is what they said their color block was, which I probably would have been content with, but that was not what the me and the sales lady discussed. So let me go back. So, but again, they only color blocked the yellow in the design after so much trouble finding. So I already read that. Anyway, once Airwaves went out of business, so to speak, our quality as a brand suffered, as well as my confidence and enthusiasm for the brand was wavering until one day I looked one last time and came across a company in Europe that uses the same dark color block print system, but with an improved stretch backing that allows the print to stretch 70+%. This is an improvement from even Airwaves, as we noticed that cracking would occur in our women's apparel that had spandex or elasticity or stretch. Well, this solves all that problem. So solved all those problems as well. So what I'm saying is this print was great, but when I would put it on like the women's apparel, because it has a little bit of spandex in all of the apparel, it was, a little scratch. It would always crack right here in the wing section, and I noticed that. I never knew why, because the print doesn't have the scratch to go with the material. So this right here, the 2018 print, solves all of that. This backing actually feels more like rubber. It doesn't even, this feels like granite, and it's really thick. This has no kind of thickness on it. So as you wash it, it's going to start cracking faster than even this print would. And see, this is what I didn't like about this print. It's a great print. And even if you wash these, I have to test this stuff. When I wash this doesn't crack before this will crack. You see what I'm saying? The sun disc and all that, I noticed that. So I have a whole bunch of these prints of everybody. So please know that I'm going to be taking a loss on this, because I have a whole bunch of these prints left. But now I've actually spent a significant amount of money as far as trying to transition into the prints that I feel comfortable with selling. So that's why I'm here, because now I'm back to feeling confident about our brand and what we're supposed to be doing and how we're going to be able to represent it. These prints are actually perfect. I mean, I couldn't ask for any better print. I thought that I would be just satisfied with this, but this is these prints exceed those prints. So anyway, let me get back to what I was with the read. Say this is an improvement from even the Airwaves. So I already read that. So and it solves that problem as well. So it took 2 years and 2 continents to achieve this goal, but I'm pleased to announce that the mission has been complete. In order to compete with the most popular brands of today, we understand that we must first have a quality product of at least equal standard. With that part of our mission complete, we feel comfortable and confident in our brand once again. In closing, this is not only a correction of our print issue. In closing, this not only corrects our print issue, it improves it and places our brand back in the category as a serious brand rivaling the other major non-African brands on the market. More to come in the video I will be doing later, which this is the video. So this is what I was supposed to be releasing this video before a couple of days ago, but as you know, I'm a perfectionist, and one day I wasn't feeling too well and I had a lot on my plate. So I wanted to come back in and do this video so people could kind of get an understanding of what we've been dealing with since 2014 as far as the prints, and kind of like why a lot of people didn't see us pushing the brand like a lot of people would expect somebody with a brand with the image that nice to be doing. I mean, I'm an honorable person. This information is about being honorable. I'm not saying I'm a perfect person or I'm a saint, but I'm not a crook, and I definitely don't want to sell somebody something that I felt bad about selling. I'm not saying that I feel bad about this, but like I said, I'm a little bit different type of cat than the average person, everybody. And I don't mean that, take that lightly. I take this stuff seriously. I've never tried to push a religion or anything on anybody, but I will push the truth once I know, if I know that what the truth is. This represents our true history. This imagery represents us consolidating around that history in a real strong way, and it announces something that I think the rest of the world is going to be scared and shocked to see if we do this in the right fashion, in the right way. Everywhere that Europeans look, soon this should be the image that's in their face. I'm not a person that's trying to get rich. I'm a person that's trying to see something. I'm a person that's not trying to ask that y'all give me something. I'm a person that's coming up with a tangible product of value for our people that you can teach from and wake our people up in a unifying fashion that we can all move as a unit. I have a lot to say. I'll be saying that at a later date. I just want to keep this video short and on point. I love my people. I love the history that I've obtained, and I'm trying to share what I've learned before I make my transition, as I've seen a lot of strong Africans make their transition, and this is my way of contributing to us getting back on the right track, everybody. I'm not ego driven. This is not just for me. This is for everyone. And I want everybody to know that. So with that said, peace. And then I'll get back with everybody else on another type of topic and stuff at a later date. So with that being said, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Hold on, everybody, hold on. Stop sharing my screen here. And I'll close out. I'll be doing more videos, man. I don't know how people are gonna perceive a lot of the stuff and a lot of the views that I have. I know I say a lot, but that's me in thought. And I don't want to make a mistake and up here sounding like a fool. So y'all excuse that. That's just a bad habit that I got. And I hope y'all can bear with me. And then maybe I think what would be better if we had somebody that I could talk to that's maybe have some questions, because I'll be putting out videos about different topics besides the brand. But I just want to make a quick video on the actual the large prints that we're dealing with. So in closing, I just want everybody to know that our prints are up to standard now. We still have some more prints with that other transparent print. Those are not bad prints, but we are transitioning out of those. On the women's side, those prints are completely transitioning to our new prints. The men's side, because it doesn't need elasticity. Only thing we ask is that you wash the garments in a proper fashion, and they'll hold up until we get a chance to get the new prints. And then I feel confident. I don't care how you wash it. I think that it'll hold up for a good while, to where you'll, even if because everything cracks. I don't care if you get an Adidas shirt. I used to get the Adidas shirts, and after a while, the cracking would happen. Everybody knows that. So, but I want ours to crack at the same time Adidas is crack. I don't want it to be cracking on the first wash or nothing like that. That's not the type of standards that we trying to uphold as the African people. And then, like I said, eventually we, with the support, which is all we're going to be asking, we've solidified our part as far as having a brand that's of standard with the quality of prints that we need to have. Even our embroidery prints, we have jackets, we have, we're more than just a t-shirt brand. We're an actual brand that's rivaling all of these brands that I just mentioned earlier. So with that said, let me go ahead and get up out of here, family. I just want y'all to see that how serious I was, and my apology for any imperfection that anybody may have had, or any type of glitches that may have happened with our brand. I don't think that it was really just a bad situation, but it's not my standards and not the type of standards that I think our ancestors would want us to uphold. So with that being said, I want to say peace and love to everybody, and I'll get back with y'all with another topic soon. Peace.